growing up in primary school, obviously, kuna kuanga na, like kids that make fun of you. But then, like, at the end of the day, if you look through it, like, all their parents are dark and they're also like, a bit lighter, but not really like light. So you're like, why would you make fun of me? So probably there's a problem.
Colorism, it's all about your experience with other people, like the experiences you've gone through with other people. And your life experience does not make it a fact about an issue.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the State of the Union podcast. And kama kawaida, it's brought to you by STL Yamumo and
the usual suspect, JR. And as always, we are the Goodfellas Barber Shop. Big up as always. They are our official partners.
Utakuwa natuambia about your haircut. Remember you came earlier because you needed to get your hair done and all that.
The poster child for good haircut. Check out Goodfellas.
Oh mama.
Shot fired. And you mgeni tu leo umesema tu yani tu shots to umekam na ubaya.
That is Asha Jaffar.
Umesema tayari kuna umama.
Mimi ndio nimemgoja. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Ala, okay. Inaonekana kuna mtu ako na deni ya kulipa. But yes, welcome to our set right here at the Goodfellas Barbers. I like when people get to introduce themselves. Yes. So kindly, Jiuze. Who are you? Uza Sarah.
Sell those Sarahs. I have no idea what Sarahs are.
My name is Asha Jaffar. I was born and raised in Kibra. Kibra is the largest slum in Kenya. What else? I'm a journalist. Sainafanya a bit of like social media intelligence, which says is more of it, but like it's the same aje.
Social media DCI.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's a bit of it. And also nafanya a bit of philanthropy. Philanthropy. Sorry, ulimi. From December 2019, we started an initiative and we were giving food in Kibra,
okay.
And other really small informal settlements. We gave out food for I think 1 full year, and then now what we're doing is we're giving business loans to like small startups. So if someone comes to us, even like previous people were giving out food to, they're like, okay, like you're not giving us food anymore. How can we sustain our lives now, blah, blah, blah. Because people thought, okay, like 2019 or 2020 was the hardest, but like things are really hard for, like most people who lost their income and other things. So we're giving like small seed capital to businessmen in Kibra.
Businessmen. Specifically,
business is general, so
business people.
Okay.
And just before you finish introducing yourself, just for the audience so that they understand the magnitude of you giving out food.
Yeah.
You gave out to over 3,000 families.
3,000 families, like households. So what that means is if you go to a house has like approximately 6 people. So Kibra, like how we started it is like COVID hit, everyone assumed, okay, things are okay, people had their salaries, they had like their savings and other things, but most people are struggling. Like most freelance, like workers, they don't have, assignments to do, they did not have ways to sustain themselves. So people are actually, struggling to make ends meet. So I started it actually initially, and I called a few people who were raised in the same community, like, okay, like I want to start this thing. Can you guys help me? And I did mostly fundraising, and other people were helping in distributing foods. Other people, are helping in getting me the names. And I did that for like a full year with other people who volunteered in the beginning. And then I was like, there's no way I'm going to bring, people's kids here and I'm not paying them.
Yeah.
Because initially I was giving them food. I was like, okay, we've given 20 bags, I'm going to give you one, and the other one you give to your mother.
Okay.
So that was actually, I was very strict. If you don't give your parents the food, don't come here. Because it's like, it doesn't make sense. So that's how we started. And then I started paying them, and then eventually now it's an organization where at least I've employed a few people that are following up some things that I started.
That's really, really commendable, Yani. Good job. Because it's one act of kindness that goes a long way. You can imagine, as at now, you've been able to touch over 3,000 families.
Yeah.
So those are so many lives, and I'm sure, when someone does something kind to you, feeling just paying it forward. So the ripple effect.
She has not said, but she's, like she said, she's a journalist. She has written a paper that has been admitted as part of the study course at Cambridge University in the US of A. And she's also a friend.
It's okay. Cambridge in the US.
Cambridge in the UK.
Yeah,
they are studying her paper.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And she's also a friend to Senator Ilhan.
Okay.
Allah.
We are not church, but it's okay. It's okay. Like
we are chilling with the big girls.
We allow that for this particular podcast.
So I think after this I shall drop social media where you can get her. So in case you wanna slide on the DM, you can slide for after conversation.
So stuff like, unless you go to Twitter and tweet me, I'll respond. But Facebook, hizo zingine sikwangi huko sana.
I was chilling with a friend of mine, nikamuuliza social media pages zake, akaniambia ako a bit undercover when it comes to social media. So the best way to get her is through tumwandikie barua, to the poster, all that kind of thing.
Even the work that I'm doing, like most of us expose too much on social media, we give too much information. We're not careful, with what we're exposing. So, like near the Facebook, near the Instagram, I go to WhatsApp, and I'm posting very personal content. People are going to eventually, figure out your life, or like if you are in trouble, like activists, journalists, you can't expose your life like that. So we must recommend overuse of social media.
Looks like in the near future we'll call you back again to talk about social media security and how to protect that space. But for today,
boring session.
we have a way of making it interesting.
Laptop to projector. And I'm like,
no, we don't have to make it.
It's boring. But tutajaribu, I'll find a way to make it easy.
Okay.
Asha, so you're in your mid-20s. You've done all this.
Mid-20s, my friend. I'm getting old.
Okay. You are in your 20s. Let's say you're in your 20s. You're in your 20s. You're being studied at Cambridge. Yeah. You've worked with Al Jazeera, BBC, CNN. How has it been like? Because kuna watu hata Larry ni juzi tu ndio ameingia CNN akiwa ako 40
mid-30s or late 30s, I think around there. I'm not sure.
In his 30s ndio ameingia CNN.
True.
But you're doing these things like things people wish or hope for when they grow up. You are doing them while growing up. How has it been like? How has the journey been?
How will I say? One thing that I always teach myself is be humble. Nothing is ever that serious. You buy an iPhone 13 and all of a sudden people are like, okay, you're very rich and stuff. But like, what does richness mean? Like during COVID, I went to people's houses. People are living, in abject poverty. And then uku inje, like we are so proud. We go to Java, we eat, and you forget that people are actually struggling. So maybe like one thing that I teach myself, it's actually something I have to force myself to be, is very humble. Because things change and opportunities, you're rich now and tomorrow you're not. So yeah, I'd say that is one thing. Probably is why I'm where I am. Because if you give me a job, probably I'll not be I'll not boast about it. I'll be like, okay, I worked for this organization and I'm cool about it and stuff. But I think it gets to our head sometimes that you get a small project and you're all over the place and it removes the blessing from what you have.
If I was you, like if I had achieved like being featured on the front page of the New York Times, like you were featured on the front page of New York Times last year.
Yeah.
Sahi hata social media like sahi hata
kwa sasa shida ni angalia lasi wanafanya hivyo, like they do it 1 month, then the second month they go back to because hauna foundation na hujajifunza vitu mob. But like most people who have like achieved a lot of things, ukiona like most successful people are very humble. Like utakana mtu hapo uko like, okay, this person owns this, they're very rich, they do this, but you'll never know, But sisi kitu kidogo tu you're all over the place. So nasema aje ni kujifunza, it's a habit, but eventually utafika hapo. But pia there are also humble people who are not successful. So mimi nasema hard work. Mimi I work 10 times as hard as people,
Wow.
Unazaniona nimekaa Jaffar na kunywa chai, but if you come to my laptop then you'll be like, okay, msichana anafanya then like and I avoid a lot of things, like yet unajua people are doing different things, unajua watu wanataka kupati, watu wanataka nasema the different priorities.
Okay.
But like if you sit down and you ask yourself, in 5 years I want to be this person, na kila weekend uko club, kila Friday or whatever. Partying is good, but there's life inakuwa na balance. You have to take the good and the bad, na lazima usacrifice. Hakuna mtu amka asubuhi anaanza kuwa successful. Probably watu wanaona hizi vitu sahi na wajui 5 years ago what I was doing. Probably kuna time hata sikuwa nalala. Like mtu akinitafuta saa 9 I'm online. Like why doesn't Asha sleep? But no one asks, like what you're doing. So ni discipline, hard work na being humble or humility.
Wow.
So
ukienda club kila Friday usi expect kukua.
Sinasema aje like labda uingie hapana like nasema discipline, sindio? Like unaona ukienda club unatumia pesa, that's your time, na probably hiyo company una keep si healthy kwako, unaona? Like hakuna mtu anakuinspire hapo, hakuna mtu anakuambia Jan in 5 years nataka kuina unaona? So unaweza enda uka labda 1 hour ukunywe drinks zako and then utoke or like a few minutes. But ukisema ati kila siku you have to be there or you have to show off or you have to nasema hiyo ni pattern una create, na eventually unajua like mimi usema mse kama Elon Musk watu wanasema okay sasa hii ni sonko na nini, but mtu ni alianza kwa high school. So na mimi usema like just it takes time but utafika huko, unasemanga itajipa siku moja.
This just goes to show that we need to watch out for this space tuone in 5 years time atakuwa wapi. We're keeping tabs on what you're up to.
Na pia sisi in 5 years time
tutakuwa in 5 years time tutakuwa wapi.
Hold us responsible.
Goodness. Hiyo ni long term, but mid term ni kuhakikisha ama short term ni kuhakikisha kwamba we give you amazing content right now on the State of the Union podcast. And today we're talking about colorism. So according to Google, it's a prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. But I mean, ningetaka tu get understanding yenu ya what do you understand when it comes to colorism?
Mimi naweza sema ni kupatia the other thing. Okay, since to context ya Africa. Kuna light skin women na kuna dark skin women, same to men. So utaangalia like mostly light skin women watakuwa kwa TV, tukikuwa wadogo tulikuwa tunacheza na doli, unajua ziko yellow. Then like to grow na hiyo notion that lightness is close to beauty. na unajua unapata ina destroy mentality ya watoto wengi, because then they grow up, tulikuwa tunaongea na wewe previously, mtoto ana grow up ukimuuliza ukiweka mtu mweusi na mtu mweupe, hiyo ni research imefanywa worldwide, atakupikia mtoto mweupe, unaona?
So he's more pretty than like
yeah. So ni like nitoje tume get your concept subconsciously, si kupenda kwetu, but inakwanga subconsciously wewe umekuwa fed your information. If you ukiangalia Africa, how light men are looked at ni very different from how light skinned men, like light skinned women are looked at. So pia ni question nyingine na kujiuliza.
We'll get to that, but JR, what's your perception of colorism?
So the way I understand, like from the definitions, because for me I think it's a foreign phenomenon. It's not something African, because until recently, until tuanze kuongelea like colorism imekuwa in the mainstream media like 1-2 years ago, ndio tumeanza kuiongelea sana in Kenya specifically. But then you find that there are many factors that affect when you will find lighter skinned ladies in music videos or in advertisements and stuff like that. But there are many factors that come to to inform the decision of having. And I also have some theories about it. But then colorism for me, I think it's foreign. It is not African. And I think tumeiongelea sana when Elsa came out and she was all over and saying Kenyans, we treated her badly in school and all that. And also that we didn't support her because we didn't like her skin tone or something like that.
She said that?
Yeah, she
that's okay. I'll not comment on that.
She did an interview in, I think it was in Abu Dhabi or something like that.
I have some reservations about that. But colorism, yes, I think it's been there. I think venye tu unasema like this is the time, maybe a couple of years back ndo tumeanza ku speak out about it, but all along it was there on our faces. We saw it. Our thinking was directed towards a certain direction, but it's like tulikuwa tume accept that's how things are. So right now people are speaking about it because people feel that something needs to change. But me penda kuweka wase on the spot. And I think I'll start with you, JR. Do you think you are, how do you say someone is, you're prejudiced towards a certain,
or are you attracted to lighter women
compared to darker skinned women?
That's a trick question.
Maneno ya kukanya whatever.
That's a trick question. But I will answer it to the best of my ability.
I plead the fifth.
No, I will not plead the fifth. We pride ourselves in giving our opinions and speaking our minds on this podcast. So I will say there is a difference between prejudice and preference. It's not the same
That's
thing.
why I rephrased the question to angesema prejudice. Woo! You ndio kwa another discussion.
Okay, for me I don't think I would say I have a preference in color. I have a preference in character. Yeah. So there is a certain character that I will not.
Or your character is found in on one particular type of.
Okay. Just so we are clear, there's people behind the camera that are making us laugh. Just so we're clear, it's not what I'm saying.
It's gonna a live studio audience.
And they are very lively. They are very lively. So the thing is, for me, it's about character. But then I would say it is not, like when you say colorism, it means prejudice, the way Google has defined it. It's prejudice. But then what if it is preference? Like, does it become prejudice?
Which is okay, but then the question inarudi back to the men. Like mbona, like you started to think like that. Most of our moms are dark,
Yeah, and most of us are dark.
So yeah, that's where like najiuliza tu hiyo swali, because how you look at us women, like when you tumekuwa raised, people would go for darker looking men, or even most women actually in Africa don't even care about how you look, unaona, but wanaume
no, they still go for tall, dark and handsome.
Really?
See, that is a phrase, like that is a popular
TDH.
phrase. Yes, tall, dark and handsome.
So still
like they will act like they don't care, but when they find the tall, dark and handsome, then Nairobi will say character
development. This is from personal experience.
No, this is for the podcast. This is strictly for the podcast.
But anyway, it's true, yeah.
It's true. That
like in double standard. You see, it's okay.
Exactly.
But then if the men do it,
it's a double standard. But okay, so do you feel that, especially in your line of work, there's a lot of colorism?
That's why I asked you how your journey has been.
There's a same, okay, like growing up in primary school, obviously, kuna kuanga na, like kids that make fun of you. But then like at the end of the day, if you look through it, like, all their parents are dark and they're also like, a bit lighter, but not really like light. So you're like, why would you make fun of me? So probably there's a problem with you, but that's something that we learned. That thing I learned it like, way class 7, 8. But tukikuwa wadogo, like it was pretty difficult. If you are dark-skinned girl in a primary school, like a public school, obviously kids will make fun of you. Like if they're writing a list of, like the prettiest. Anyway, I just went to some. Yeah. So people, like kids used to like write, such things, and you're like, why would you, like think like that? Because if I go to your home, your parents and most people are like, look like that. So why are you, like putting yourself in that? So sometimes you just have to remove yourself from that. But also like it takes time. Because then kids grow up with self-esteem issues. And they feel like, okay, I'm not pretty enough and I'm not good enough. So it's actually like a struggle for most kids.
It's a lot of struggle, because I remember in primary school, the lighter skinned students in class walikuwa na some sort of privilege. Yeye atakuwa the prefect, atapewa responsibility
or something.
Certain responsibilities in class. Not because they're really good at it, but because they look a certain type of way.
But the other side of the spectrum, us dark-skinned girls were assumed to be smart and more ambitious and determined. Light-skinned chicks in school were, this is just an example. The dumbest people in class, which sometimes is a stereotype, because I'm sure for a person like you who's lighter, if you go to some places, people will like, oh damn, you remember, but
goodness,
so
did you just call me light skin?
But I called myself dark skin, so it's I'm allowed.
In comparison to your color and JR, I'm lighter. But in relation to other light people, I am still dark skinned.
Well, in relation to whom?
But
in particular,
you see, that's the thing.
We're talking about the African context. Wewe ni mweupe, si ndio? Ama we're lying?
Like in Africa, like you need melanin, melanin. But you see, that's the same thing I was thinking. Like if we come to this whole issue, the whole discussion about colorism, it boils down to what Asha has said: self-esteem. And the word itself, self-esteem, it does not include people around you. It is about yourself.
It's about how you feel.
So, what do I have to do with your self-image? How you view yourself? Because, okay, when you talk about the lighter skinned kids being prefects in school and stuff like that, you will find that because of growing up, people pampering them, they have confidence and an ego that is unmatched. Education-wise, they might not be the best, but they're confident. And teachers need someone who is confident to control the rest of the kids.
But that's also tricky because in primary school I had light-skinned friends, girls especially, and it kills their self-esteem because on the other side people make fun of them because when they open their mouth people are like, oh, when you fall, like you're not making sense.
Yeah.
So sisi labda tutapata self-esteem, yeah, like how you look, but then when you grow up you overcome it. But how it goes all the way.
In Africa, let's come back to Africa. In Kenya, we make fun of everything and everyone. Like you have to be.
Yeah, no one is
Because you will find, let's say in the rural schools where kids like play in the soil and stuff.
Yeah.
Then a kids like shocks zimeraruka huko nyuma.
Yeah.
Then watu wanaanza kumwambia uko na torch.
Yeah.
But the person telling you uko na torch. No, they are just making fun of your uniform.
Everything was funny, yeah.
Of your uniform because it's torn on the buttock side. But then the person who's making fun of you is in the same predicament.
Yeah.
Just because they can see yours, but they can't see theirs. So they are making fun of you.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. We can't say that colorism, the whole idea of colorism boils down to making fun of you.
No.
But let's look at our industry and allow me to talk about the media, because that is what we can see and that is what like in a shaping how we view things. Ukiangalia like when it comes to news, when it comes to shows, when it comes to music videos, all that we see, the stuff that we consume. Ukiangalia how many dark-skinned anchors, and I'm not talking about guys here, ladies, how many are they? How many dark-skinned women have been given lead roles in TV series?
That's another conversation.
How many dark-skinned women are in music videos? You see. And so when we look at that, and then so people will say, okay, fine, there's Lupita,
yeah,
or there's Naomi, or there's but the question is, there's like you can only point a couple of dark-skinned women that have made it to a certain level, but how many light-skinned women are at the top?
Okay.
But who is, like how will I start this conversation? I'll say who are owning these businesses. That's a whole different conversation, because if like light-skinned women are beautiful, like this is an assumption, and then men grow up with that assumption, then they become rich and open media houses. Then who they hire? Especially like they'll hire light-skinned women. So the problem then boils down to what are we teaching our kids? Because then if you start like at the top, like this is, if someone is over 25, you can't change them. Like they're already.
But can we also, apart from the owners of the media employing these?
Yes.
Let's include advertising and music, like you've said. There is a lot of light-skinned people being used on billboards and adverts on TV. But then one thing you have to understand is these markets are consumer controlled. Like the consumer is the one who decides what they want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you put
so if you have a business and people want meat, and then you're like, no, it's not healthy, you guys need vegetables. Then we will just find someone else who sells
But
meat.
you can force people to look for another alternative or way, like a way of thinking. Because if you continue saying this is the way of life, then this is how we will continue living. But if one person just decides that today I'm going to put like a dark-skinned woman on TV for like 10 years, you'll see there's a paradigm shift in how kids are looking at beauty.
Yeah.
Because mtu kama Eva Makwara, okay, like she's on TV. If someone like me looks, like watches TV or looks at her,
you
like,
can relate.
Okay, it's possible. But like 90% of the women are, light skinned.
And in addition to that, so you're giving that analogy of selling meat and all that. there's a hotel in town whereby like all the waitresses are light skinned. So the first time I went there, I was like, okay, but then I didn't notice. But then the second time I went there, I was like, okay, there's a trend.
Yeah.
But you see, to the person, to the business owner, and I feel okay. I want to attract more customers.
Yeah.
So if customers trickle in and they see beautiful women, they're likely to come back again. So for him, the way you're saying, it's, it's a marketing gimmick.
No, for that person, like if we talk to that specific incident, that is just a crazy individual. Like, because hotel business, like it's different from club business because you're dealing with drunk people.
Yeah.
But if it's a hotel
people are gonna
where people want to just eat and leave, it's not like we are coming here for waitresses, we are coming for service, then that is just a moron.
Like I'd say, like the person just has a problem.
Yeah, he has issues.
He has a problem.
He has issues.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Like I don't think
in Kenya, out of every out of 10 women, 9 are dark, 1 is light. Like it's not like light-skinned women are the majority. Like just do your research. Like light-skinned women are not the majority.
Yeah.
So darker-skinned women are
the
majority. So why would I walk into a restaurant where 10 people are light-skinned, and
You think that's
a problem.
That's a problem.
Because if you go to the US or somewhere else, then you see, you walk into a restaurant and like majority of the people are white. That people will speak, but here people are like, okay,
yeah, exactly. It's their business. But also, there's this theory I have that I talked about earlier. I think the reason we don't see a lot of dark-skinned females in music videos and let's say on other TV setup, but mostly in music videos, it's because this is what I think. You can quote me on this, but it is not fact. What I think is there is some special value awarded to dark-skinned women. That when you put them in a music video, then your music video is not looked at as a music video, but a statement video.
There's this one that I saw of this Tanzanian artist, very well known. I don't want to mention his name. People used to criticize him a lot. Like all his music videos, they had this, the typical, African woman. And then after people criticized this person, they were like, don't stop doing this. And then later on, he started. Putting darker women in his music videos, and like I've seen that trend from probably when he started up to now. So I don't know if this is a communication of like, okay, I've listened and I'm doing it, or it's because I'm doing it because I want to make more money. The majority of the people living in Africa, let's say sub-Saharan Africa, they look like me. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm tempted to get to know who this artist is.
But even if you look at
did you connect to like the person that because
come on a journey, then
this is a podcast that is going to be on YouTube. You don't want to mention anyone's name.
And it's a during the break.
We get flagged and we're like
if they flag us, we post again. Even if like you look at Sauti Sol, they've been doing a lot of music videos, and then they did this song.
Melanin.
Melanin. It was seen as a statement song, not an entertaining song. Because that is like you are talking about a queen. So
I think Romain Virgo did the same thing. He did something about melanin. Yeah. But Jamaican artists, they all put like dark skinned women. So maybe I don't have a problem with that.
They are proud, like for them they view Africans as a greater species. So, but then for me, I that is my theory. I think darker skinned women, they have been put on a pedestal, especially in music videos, whereby you cannot put them. You cannot put them in a song.
That's smart.
And have them twerking or doing stuff like that.
And because of that statement, then when does preference become prejudice? Because that in itself might seem as prejudice. Because again, in truth, every person in Africa, hata kama wewe ni pointy or you're light skin, you're black. Period. End of story.
Yeah, people
end of
see us
story
like that.
So even wasomajua ushanga like what's the story here?
Colorism,
Colorism, because wakituangalia whether you're light skin or dark skin, you're black. You're black. Period. So I mean, when does that thin line between prejudice and preference?
Me usema like if you use it to make someone feel bad, because amekuwa rafiki yangu, so like I've seen him like with darker skinned women, and I've seen him with like lighter women. So a person like this, I'll not say like akona prejudice against like either color, but mtu
akona anaitwa X-Files.
Yeah. But mimi nikisema I can only date this particular color of men because of this and this, and most of them are like stereotypes. I'll be
that is prejudice.
It's like I have a hate against, actually the word is hate, like it's like you have a hate against the other party. But nikisema I like dark skin men or light skin men, it's not because nikona like ukona hiyo ni preference, unajua. So and people, you can like anyone, unajua, like how Jeremy described, like you can like light skin women, you can like dark skin women, but mtu akisema, but like akiandika tu chini aseme like this is who I am, I cannot go across the spectrum, you have a problem, because but then it's like, do you have a problem with people who look like different from you? Is it a problem that it is internal, or because sometimes it has nothing to do with you, people just like have issues with
yeah.
So let me ask this, so it is okay to say I like tall men or I like fat women or thick women?
Okay.
It is okay to say that, but it's not okay to say I like light-skinned women.
You can say that.
I can say that.
But this is very tricky.
Just don't make it look like yeah.
You can, if you say you like, that is preference.
Yeah.
That is preference.
But if you say I can only like.
Yeah,
this
exactly. That is like saying I don't like dark-skinned women.
Yeah.
Now that is prejudice.
But then let me ask, if you say I like, doesn't that mean automatically I don't like?
No, it doesn't.
The reverse.
It doesn't.
The opposite.
It might be you like this. Let's say chocolate milk. You say I like chocolate milk. It doesn't mean
you cannot
drink strawberry. Yeah. Or maybe you haven't even tried strawberry. You haven't made strawberry milk. So you just like it because this is what you have. The same way with when we discussed about this, I was watching some videos on YouTube, and there is this one where they ask kids like which doll is pretty, which doll is ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, so a while ago, the dolls we were using in Kenya were all imported, made by white-owned companies. Those white people were making dolls for their kids. They were not making dolls
for us
as an activist statement. They were making for their kids.
Yeah.
And us, we were importing dolls made for their kids and giving them to our kids. You see? So our kids growing up knowing this doll looks pretty. You see? So they don't have anything to compare to. So they like it, not because they hate black dolls, but they haven't made black dolls.
Exactly.
They've only made white dolls.
White dolls.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So colorism in Africa, I still think it's a myth.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky like situation. It's 50-50, and like both of us, we all have a problem. If we all address it like from our own sides, the color spectrum, then tutafika pale. But Yeah, if you don't do anything about it, then tutaendelea tu kupiga kelele.
Because again, for me, the problem I have with the discussion is people tend to lean towards we need to make, like it's a wrong that needs to be corrected. But then the problem with that is you might overcorrect.
And then
you start being prejudiced.
We just need a balance.
Does that mean we've laid so much emphasis on the girl child because our boy child, so that might happen.
Overcorrection.
Yeah.
We need a balance. Like if we speak about this conversation, I like the fact that like you have a different color from me. So if we speak, we're not attacking anyone. It's a conversation. So we're all addressing our own issues from.
And you see, it has not been an issue here.
Yeah.
That she's lighter shade.
My goodness.
I'm darker shade. It has not been an issue. So
for the very first time in my life, I am considered as light skinned by the.
And venye umekaa na watu na watu wajaluo wanaita rate.
People don't consider you light.
No, I'm not. I don't even consider myself light skinned.
No, but you see,
because
in Kenya, most people from the central region, they're lighter skin because you're from the highlands.
Asha niambia mimi ni wa central and I'm not even from central. Mimi nimetoka huko northeastern.
Wapi? Huko ungekuwa umeshika rangi wewe.
You're jua.
Huko ungekuwa umeshika rangi. Melanin because it's the highlands.
Yeah.
So you find that people that are in the cold, they tend to have.
You become lighter.
A lighter
like
shade.
Big, like melanin, like jua, the sun, like it can change your skin color.
Exactly. So.
But then, so one of the wrongs that I feel, in as much as hatutaki ku overcorrect the perception that people have, but also one of the things that needs to be corrected ni venye a baby is born and people automatically judge like whether he or she is pretty or not.
Yeah,
based on their color.
It's not based on the color. Mtoto anaonekana tu.
But jero kitu happen kwa sababu mimi sema hizi vitu.
No, but a pretty child can be seen.
Yeah, but
are there any ugly babies? Are there any ugly babies though?
Don't make me go there.
No way.
I can be very honest.
Kindly be honest.
There is ugly babies.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen an ugly baby.
You haven't seen a lot of babies.
You haven't traveled.
Like there's pretty ones, and there are those where someone asks you, how do you find my baby? And then, they're pretty.
But
because you don't want to be disrespectful or anything.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Kuna watoto wanakaa tu venye wanataka.
But
it's not their problem, it's the parents' problem. So we are not blaming the child on their look. We're just saying there are kids that
yeah.
There's pretty kids and then there's yin and yang.
Yeah, it's always a balance.
Yin and yang. There's always a balance.
I need to see an ugly baby. I've never seen an ugly baby. Like honestly.
Please let's stop. If this conversation goes any step further, nitashtuka nimesema kitu so. Why people sensitive about babies? They're like, why you? I don't want.
No, but then it's not usually based on color because all babies when they are born they're light skinned.
I think she's saying the truth.
No, all babies when they are born they're light skinned.
Actually, all babies?
When they are born.
Clearly, you have not.
Where does it?
Kids.
Kwani walikuwa wanapigwa na jua kwa tumbo?
Yeah.
See, you have to form melanin.
Mimi sitaki kuongelea watoto.
No,
it's a sensitive issue.
No.
But you see, it all goes to show that beauty is in the eye
of the beholder.
Yeah. Of which my beholder has never seen an ugly baby.
You haven't?
Yeah.
Or maybe like you just come from a very you're non-judgmental. You were raised very right.
Yeah, we judge.
So I like that.
For us, we judge.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I haven't seen a lot of babies.
No, I think you haven't seen a lot.
I think I haven't seen a lot of babies because babies are not like my very interesting. I'm not a baby person, so maybe that's it. But the babies I've seen, I've never seen an ugly baby. And One thing I remember in primary school, so I remember in primary school when there was a list of, I don't know, there was a list of like the top 10 pretty people.
Guy! That is even worse.
There was.
In high school we had a magazine. There had to be.
In high school there was still. But one thing I can say for sure is that, yes, there was that list, but most of the times is whereby you meet someone who probably wasn't that good looking in primary school, but later on in life they look really nice. People like, wow, you just needed some
people
some
just
chums.
grow.
Yes.
Pesa.
Kuoga vizuri.
Pesa usaidia watu.
Allah.
Yeah.
Umefika hapo.
Pesa
No,
usaidia.
like,
No, it's true. It's true.
Hujaiona mtu tu anakaa venye anataka akiwa high school.
No,
akifanya kazi miaka 5 hivi.
Anaka different.
Anaka
So here also like, yeah, people change. So also it's very difficult because if you even look at our color, like mtu aje skin color yetu, the more you grow, the more also like it changes. So mtu anaweza kuwa mweupe leo, kesho ni mweusi. It depends with where you live and like what you're exposing yourself to. So I've seen even like the chicks I used to go to school with when you walikuwa weupe, sasa ni weusi. So also like life stress and other things zinachangia. So also like mimi nikisikia watu wakisema like you know stories za colors, I'm like it's because of like where you're born and jua.
But also people have to normalize like you will not be liked by everyone.
I know.
So you have to normalize being told no.
Yeah, yourself.
Because most of us, the reason we are even having this discussion, it's because some individuals think like they should be told yes every time they ask.
Yeah. You're not cake, not everyone will like you.
So exactly. So nata cake haipendwi na kila mtu. So like we need to normalize like you are not the center of the universe. Where's the axis? So like the world can still revolve.
With or without you.
With or without you.
Exactly.
So most people, I think the reason this whole discussion is happening, because okay, if we talk about like let's say the current situation in Europe, where every little thing somebody's screaming racism, and stuff like that. Sometimes people just don't like you. Like
it has nothing
to do with the fact that you're white or black. We just don't like you. Like see, you have walked in a room and watu wakanyamaza. Like people just don't like you. It's not the fact that you're light skinned or dark skinned. We just don't like you. And for okay, this is gonna sound bad. For the case of Elsa, like for me personally, I would say I've met her. She's
cool.
She's alright. She's alright.
Okay.
It's just that most of us, like especially Kenyans, we didn't understand her humor. You see, like when you make jokes and then the crowd is like, but in alone.
What did you say?
Yeah. So that is what happened. South Africans, maybe they were quicker than us, so they got the humor fast.
They have that type of
But let me say something in regard to that. I don't think we discriminated her personally. I don't think we did it. But I think also, and this might not sound correct, but I think that also sometimes a sad story sells.
That's entertainment. That's showbiz.
A sad story sells, whereby people want to, because a lot of people that want to make it, they will come with woye stories like, oh, this happened to me, oh, I grew up in a very in abject poverty and all that, and so people are like, oh, and it kind of elevates you to success. So I don't know. I don't think we discriminated her. I just think maybe she needed to sell a sad story.
We never did, and her manager is from Hollywood, so of course they had to come up with.
And then what you're saying is also correct in the sense that even the most beautiful person, there's someone who just doesn't like them.
Exactly.
So inaweza kuwa one or two people just didn't feel her vibe, and akatumia those as examples of, hey, people in my country don't feel my vibe because you can see this and that. But I don't think we did discriminate her.
We never, like Kenyans, I think Kenyans, if you do a census in the universe, we are the most welcoming.
Exactly.
People.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is a big issue.
Yeah.
And I just think it was a script that they were selling. Because I went to her Instagram some time back, and she would reply to South African celebrities, American celebrities. But then Saudi Sol comments, BN comments, and she just she ignores, she doesn't reply. Kenyan celebrities were commenting on her stuff, but then she ignores. She replies to Hollywood, Akina Taraji and stuff. So like sometimes, for me, the reason I bring up this, I just don't want people out there thinking like we are shitty people as Kenyans.
Exactly.
For us who live here, because she went to an extent of moving out of the country and making it public that she would never come back to Kenya and stuff like that because we treated her bad. We are very welcoming people.
We're very welcoming, but
come to Kenya. Everyone.
Welcome to Kenya.
Yeah.
Hakuna matata.
Hakuna matata.
Okay, but moving forward, are there things that you would like to see done different when it comes to the subject of colorism?
I think if I can say something, mostly it's just people have, how would I say, like mostly it's just a personal problem, because even like in school, the people who like would make fun of, like us who are, darker, you'd find that, they're also like, a bit, they look like, maybe like exactly like us, but because of other reasons, probably like power and other things. So mostly it's something internal. It's a battle they fight with how they look. So mostly like, if someone looks like, if I look at Jaffar, and probably you have the same skin color, if I have a problem with how Jaffar looks like, it's not because I hate Jaffar, it's because I hate myself and how I look. You see? Yeah. So it's something I will say to any kid struggling with that. Just go home and think about that. Yeah, it has nothing to do with you. And also another thing is just let's have like an honest conversation about colorism, because why is it there? Because like even dark skinned women will benefit from the like colorism, because of if you go to Hollywood and you want to model, like I'll get taken and you'll not be taken because of
overcompensation.
Yeah, so like so it's also like a whole other conversation that we need to have, and we need to be very honest, because I know also like as dark skinned people we have a problem, because if I hang out with women who are a bit lighter, not now but like when I was in high school or university, they will just walk into the room and I'll be like, I can't have a conversation with this chick, because I'll from the onset I'll be like, the assumptions that I was raised with, I'll continue with it. But it's something you have to unlearn, and it's something you have to teach yourself that it's not okay to do that. This is something you are taught by someone else, and like you have to like get out of it quickly, because if you continue like that, then you keep hanging around very very weird people, and you can't judge people from the color of their skin, which is exactly what Jaffar said. Like in Europe, people just don't like you. It has nothing to do with how you look. And sometimes people have a problem with how you look, but it has nothing to do with you. So it's different.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I would say like there's. I was listening to some professor the other day, and he said like when you're having that, when you're talking to people, just listen to the words that you're saying, because sometimes people don't listen to what they are saying, they just say words. And then when you listen to those words, how do they make you feel? Because if they make you feel like a shitty person, then maybe you should not be using those words. Because even bullies, like last time we were talking about bullies. Bullies know they are messed up people, because they listen to what they're saying and they tell themselves this is messed up. So if you're talking to someone and the words you're using are making you feel bad, then maybe you should not be using those words and start using words that will make you feel like a good person and a better person. Because this whole issue comes around people not feeling liked, people not feeling welcomed, and then it turns out like we always find something to blame. So for this setup, it's colorism, but then it's just some few people using words that are hurtful and yeah. So for me, I would say when you're talking about someone or when you're talking about a group of people, listen to what you're saying. If it makes you feel like a shitty person, then you are a shitty person and you need to...
It's all about unlearning. No one is perfect.
And becoming self-aware.
Yeah. Like if I say something and I see Jar's reaction, or like deep down, there's no need of telling someone people know when they when they do something bad to you. So it's just a matter of letting them fix it and like unlearn. And if they don't become a better person from that mistake, then it's their problem. Like you have nothing to do with it. But like if I say okay, like I used to think light-skinned women are dumb and they can't think, and I fixed that, I'll be like okay, that's good, because it's something I was taught and I didn't have any control over it, and then eventually I just taught myself to to remove it from my head. So everyone in Africa, we all have a problem with colorism. You just need to sit with yourself kila siku. Like if you go home, take 10 minutes for reflection. Just think about like what you've done. Probably uliongelesha waiter vibaya, probably you did something. If you go there the following day and if you don't correct your manners, then you'll continue being the same person,
doing the same thing over and over.
It's a pattern.
So I think for me, before we do our parting shots, for me, I'd say the parents here, they have a role to play in that. A lot of maybe African parents don't tell their kids how beautiful or handsome they are. So that also plays in how confident someone feels. So if you don't tell your kid they're beautiful or handsome, then the person who tells them they're ugly, they will
believe the other party more than you. So it starts from home. So
it starts from home.
But what if I raise my kid telling her she's beautiful, and then she goes out there and the first boy she meets tells her she's not beautiful? That will break her even more. So for me, I would rather I raise my daughter
see all sides of life.
Not I wouldn't call her ugly. She's beautiful because
I'm saying like to see
but
like,
then I would to experience life in her own way and find out things.
You have to learn it by yourself. Like you have to go through the pain to become something different.
But you see, so you'll tell your daughter she's beautiful, or
like you see okay. This is an assumption. No, it's not an assumption. When you're in a relationship, and you want to go out with your significant other, when they dress up and you show up, you will tell them they're looking nice, they're looking pretty. So those compliments, of course, I will give my daughter those compliments. But I will not instill in her that she's the prettiest person on the planet.
That's also another expectation.
Because people instill in their kids. Exactly. So you don't instill in her that she's the prettiest person in the world. Because then she starts treating other people like they are not pretty. I am the prettiest.
And they become narcissistic. Like most very good looking people, all colors.
Like I have a smart kid. All parents do. I have a smart.
All parents say that about their kids.
Exactly. So I realized like my kid, education-wise, she likes to flex. So
she like show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like so I told her, like she told me and bring me cake and ice cream. And I told her when you close school and you are the first position, I will bring you cake and ice cream. And she was like, nah, I got excellent in everything. You see, so for her, she flexes like on other kids Like,
which is actually good, because for me, like those things about like how my color is never affected me. I just used to like walk, because I'll be like, I'll just beat you in class and I'm okay. So like if she has some like, yeah, most people, I don't know, like maybe.
So that is her flex.
Yeah.
But I think you flex a lot.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Like father, like daughter.
Yeah, I think that's something she inherited from you. So
yeah, just it's good that she's good in school, because then people will not actually like just destroy her.
Yeah.
You know, she's dark skinned, so.
So for me, I believe like it is important that we raise our kids so that they experience life in their own time.
Because stand up yake, this Chris Rock, that we raise our kids to know you're the smartest, you're the most beautiful. And then life will open our pig, and then they come home all stressed because they like school. People nani akasema, tell your kid kama amefanya vibaya shule, mwambia this was shit, like you didn't do anything. Yeah. And then I hope you guys allow cussing. But come on, I'm allowed, just cut it out. But like just being honest with your kid, you didn't do well.
Yeah.
If you know they dress a certain way, you don't look presentable. This is not how people dress when they go to school. If what do they like? What else? Akisema, okay, mommy, I'm the prettiest girl in the world. No, like, you know, people like beauty varies, people, you know, and stuff. So we also have to teach. When you wherever like you're not hoping to become a parent, me neither. But Jara kona mtoto. So also like the ball falls.
Kai, did you say I'm not hoping to become a parent?
I
did say something like that.
Alisema she's not a children's person. She's not a children's.
No, I said.
Burnt forest.
You're burning.
Nikora, my brothers, we'll fix this.
You will explain to your brothers.
You're not planning.
No, I said
me neither. So even you.
No, I'm used to your total.
You don't want kids like ever.
I see, but things happen. But as far as I'm concerned,
as far as at now, you're not planning to.
Yeah.
She's young. She's still in her 20s.
Unasema ni kama unangojea achape character development a change mind.
Hata tusiongea.
Unaona venye ako na files zangu. Mimi niko na files zangu.
Kama unataka tutoke tukiwa kwa ile bar, start this conversation.
Tukisha when cameras wrap.
So I don't know if we have time, but kuna kitu tu nimekaa hivi tu nikakumbuka. You know the way like automatically when white people come into the country, kuna kale ka expectation they will hook up with a dark skinned chick. Kuna kwanga na hapo is that the reverse now.
Oh yeah,
the reverse of it. Yeah.
If I want, like because of my color and everything, like
you've been hit on by a lot of white people.
Really love. Visa tulipata na msomo, my friend.
Na unawakataa wote?
Tusiende hapo.
No, just say it like it is.
No, but like, yeah, this is a very difficult conversation. People like who they like, but me, Miss Jeffika.
But there's also
Sijafika hapo. I don't know. Unajua, like tukirudi back to history, most white men like black women because of the
and when we talk about black, we're talking about dark-skinned women.
Yeah, like because of the industry, the porn industry, and like how women have been portrayed. We like and stuff. So mimi mtu I don't know, like I just feel. but some people are honest, like some people like you for you, who you are, but like, this is very difficult.
It becomes difficult when you understand the history
and someone
and the
is
connotation.
60 or 70 and they're like, mostly it's not even the younger ones. It's the older ones, and like the older ones, kuna historical, I don't know, like this is just, it's a whole discussion.
So like for people who don't understand where it comes from, where the fetish comes from, they will just be like on social media, mubabas and stuff like that. But if you understand, then you will be a bit apprehensive.
Because
and skeptical.
If you're very careful and if you read a lot, there are things that will disgust you if like it's brought to you. But like if I see a younger guy with like a lady from a foreign country, I'll be like, okay, good for them. But it's usually problematic if there's a 60 years age gap and 70. I'm like, people don't read history, man, like and stuff. So it's sad.
That is where you are told knowledge is a burden. So that's the burden she's carrying of knowledge.
Wow.
So, because ignorance is bliss. Some people are ignorant and they are flying on private jets.
Oh but like
let's not talk about
because these legs don't work for that long, man. Another one will come.
And let's not talk about the things the ladies have to do to keep up that relationship. That's a story for another day. But we need to wrap things up. We need to take this home.
Well, this on a very sad note.
No, it is unajua tunasemaga on SOU tuna try to educate as much as we share our own opinions. We try to be informative and not just joke around with trending issues.
And but I like this because this is a very serious conversation, but we made it fun. Like
it's always fun.
I'm glad you had some fun right here. So I don't know, do you guys have any parting shots?
Parting shots.
Parting shot. Nasema nini?
Like for me, wacha nikuulize parting shot yako. Wacha nikuulize. Like unajua intro yako tumekuwa tukiongea for 1 hour. So your intro, your portfolio, your CV is inaikuwa kwa binder. CV. Ukipeleka CV inaikuwa kwa binder.
Jaro ni market. But ni sawa.
CV yako inaikuwa kwa binder. So what is that like what are those words of encouragement both to people like youngins when wanatoka high school? Because sayumo na generation hii natoka high school. Kuna tunaweza semaje, there's a tendency of kupotea.
I know.
Like they seem lost.
And in addition to that, there's also, you grow up feeling a certain type of way because of your color, and then you end up deciding that, okay, I'm not confident and content in my skin, so I want to change it. And you
overcompensate for other things, because then you find dark-skinned women, like they go, like date older men who appreciate them probably for who they are and other reasons. Me as a Selma is just learn your history for that particular reason. And then other things are just saying, educate yourself. Mimi, the reason why people don't intimidate me that often is because I read a lot. Then if you understand the human mind and why people do this, like things and stuff, you're like, okay, this is, and then also people make mistakes, learn from it. Like I had a particular, reasoning about people like, of a different color than me. And this context, you're speaking about light-skinned women. And then I learned through it. And I was like, okay, I have to work through it and just, meet more women who, are light-skinned and just speaking with them and like trying to remove that, stereotype. Even for men in particular, but men who are light in Africa, we're like, okay, when you're mrembo, and then it's okay, like it just dies off like that. So, but for darker skin women, it's more hard. So also but what other thing can I say? It's just, let's have honest conversations about these things. No one is perfect. no one is a better person. Me nasema the problem is our parents, our parents, the media, what we read and other things. What you read is what you become, what you listen to is what you become. So ukijifundisha and you overcome it, and like eventually you become a good person. No one is perfect, but you become a good person, and so hivyo tu.
Nice.
I think today we learned so much about becoming. So become the best, and every day is a new day to become better, to do better, to treat people better, and most importantly, at the end of the day, jipende, love yourself, however you are, because imagine you're unique the way you are. So ukitry to alter anything, you're not the authentic self, authentic version of yourself.
Exactly.
So jipende tu venye uko, and life goes on.
For me, on the topic that we discussed today, my parting shot would be colorism. It's all about your experience with other people, like the experiences you've gone through with other people, and your life experience does not make it a fact about an issue, because we all experience life differently, we all go through life differently. So just because you've had a bad experience with someone or a group of people, it doesn't make it fact that is the experience everyone is going through with everyone. So let us not treat our experiences as fact.
Ile story of my truth.
My truth. Like the truth should be just the truth.
Not my truth.
Not my truth and your truth and his truth and her truth. So for me, I would say that. And I would say if someone is being mean to you and stuff like that, it is not about you. The problem is them.
It's them. It's internal.
It has nothing to do with you.
People are fighting battles you have.
Exactly. Like some of us when we were growing up, ungepokea kichapo kutoka kwa mzazi which you don't know where it's coming from, like unashindwa si kuoga tu, like naweza oga hata saa hii, but then unapigwa kichapo ingine hapo, but then you have to understand it's not about me, like nachukua hii kichapo but
it's never about
hizo shida amezitoa huko nje, but some in your outlet. So as always, check out Goodfellas Barbers. We've come to the end of the podcast.
It's been awesome.
Kama kawaida, the contacts are somewhere hapo chini. Sijui mahali screen iko, but hapo chini. Check them out. Call, book an appointment. The poster child, see how I look. Clean and shaved. The poster child. And my hair.
Asha amesema hiyo ni mama.
But my feminist msinikuji. I am tired.
But all in all, it's a good place. Come, chill out, get groomed. Good grooming. For you pia massage inasaidia. It helps to relax. Na kama kawaida, emphasis jipende. Treat yourself nicely. Treat your man nicely.
Because I'll not go there. Because
we are out. See you next time.
STL ya mumo.